Well, thank you very much, Your Highness, Prince Faisal. It's a great honor to be with you, along with the ambassadors and the other dignitaries that are in the room here tonight. I have a little bit of good news for you. I don't know if you noticed or not, but the two ambassadors that spoke ahead of me ate up all of my speaking time. But they did a great job, I might add. The one thing that I will say at the outset is I had a little bit, only about 10 minutes, of opportunity to visit with Your Highness. And I will tell you that it didn't take but 10 minutes to witness his passion and his desire to see future generations improve for Saudi. And I applaud him for that great passion. And we share in that passion tonight. I have the great privilege as your Lieutenant Governor of Georgia to be able to say welcome to a great state, a state that we are extremely proud of because of the great assets that we have within our state, the many Fortune 500 companies that we have, along with the great research universities that are here in Georgia. Georgia's #1 industry continues to be agriculture, and our future is very, very bright. But as a wise man told me one time, he said, "Casey, you can be right on price, you can be right on value added." But he said, if you have those two and you don't have the third component, you can lose a deal every time. And I said, what is that third component? And he said, relationship. Ladies and gentlemen, to welcome you here to this business forum really is an opportunity to build upon our relationship, not only in Georgia, but the United States and Saudi. And I welcome that opportunity. And we recognize what Georgia has in relationship with Saudi, and we want to build upon those relationships. But fundamentally, what I can tell you is when we look at where both of our countries are, I can tell you that for me, I'm very concerned about the future. And as I look at Saudi, and I also look at the fact that you have 60% of the individuals that are less than 25 years of age, you have to invest in the future generations that are coming. And we have many things that can divide us. But our challenge is to focus on those things that unite us. And in my mind, what unites us is the opportunity to build upon the future generations, to invest upon them. It's about your theme of a message of peace. Here in our state, we've been focused on education. And just like many of you, I look at other countries and I've been amazed at what Singapore was able to do. In 1979, they had a tremendous dropout rate within their education. And as many of you know, they didn't have a lot of natural resources. But what they decided to do is they decided to abandon the one-size-fits-all educational system and focus on intellectual capital. That is, building an economy around education opposed to building education around an economy. Now, I say that because one requires us to think about it in a proactive stance, the other is reactive. In the political arena that I live in each and every day, most of the time it's reactive. But it's when we are proactive in our stance, where our focus is how do we build an economy around education, focusing on trends and anticipating the markets before they get there. That is our challenge, and that is our focus. And I will tell you, as a state, we have the fastest growing port in the nation here in Georgia. And the reason we're the fastest growing port is not just by happenstance. It's not by being reactive. It's about being proactive. We made a strategic decision early on, and that was we were going to go out and recruit the largest retailers of exports to put their distribution centers here in our state. Why? Because we knew the containers would come where the market was. We were successful in that endeavor, and as a result, it has created a phenomenal engine within our great state. The same is true with Hartsfield-Jackson Airport. It's the busiest airport in the world, but it took vision. It took a proactive stance. And what I would submit to you is the same is true even in our state today, and maybe even in your country. And that is, where is our focus? Our focus is on building that intellectual capital. And in Georgia, 80% of the workforce tomorrow is going to need some kind of technical training. That means that we have to be prepared to provide the educational system that meets their needs. And it's not through a one-size-fits-all model. Now, for every kid that wants to go to college, and we want to provide them that opportunity. But for many of them, they need the skills, the technical skills that will be necessary to go to the workplace tomorrow. And that's what our focus is all about in our state. As a result of that, we've created a college and career academy network that has created great partnerships with business along with our educational students. And that is where we believe great success will be had in building upon our future workforce. And that's what business is looking for the future. What excites me about tonight is not just simply building upon relationships, but it's also building upon a future that is bright for Saudi Arabia, but also what is bright for Georgia and the United States. And regardless of what challenges we face, optimism still exists. And we are all better when we reach a little further, when we're stretched to do more than we thought we could ever do. That's the beauty of what makes us all who we are. I believe in what we heard early on when we had the presentation of the Scouts. It was about these individuals that were called upon to do something a little bit more than just the ordinary. Life is not about self. What life is about is service and service to others. And when we commit ourselves to that act of service, that's when we truly find the greatness that this world has to offer. And I had the great fortune of learning that from my mom, who taught me that from a very early age. She had to raise me by herself. My dad left when I was 3 years old. But she taught me the values of hard work and perseverance and a love for God. And I've never forgotten the great example that she set. But what she taught me was that those two jobs that she worked, they weren't very glamorous. But glamour was not what she was interested in. It was about preparing a better way for me. All of us in this room today have had people that have made sacrifices for us. And because of those sacrifices, it has enabled us to be where we are today. And it is up to us to continue on that legacy. These forums remind us where we began. And it doesn't matter where you start. It really matters where you end up. It's about those future generations and us investing in really the assets that we have, because those are the ones that are going to carry us on for generations to come. But more importantly, it also is about us coming together to build upon relationships today through Saudi Arabia along with the U.S. and building a bridge through cultural divides potentially, but things that unite us, that allow us to compete in a worldwide economy. Georgia's blessed, and so is Saudi Arabia. And we are better off by being here tonight, being able to focus on the things that unite us. And I will tell you, as a side note in closing, I always love it when we're able to have a very, very large conference in our great state. And I find out that we do much better in Atlanta than you did when you were in Chicago. That's a highlight. Thank you so much, and God bless you.